Hello everyone, welcome to PSIR 300 Plus channel. So today in our PSIR mains theme series, we are going to discuss Indo-France relations. A very important announcement to all the students who are watching me. From tomorrow onwards, exactly between 11 to 12 o'clock, we will be discussing GS paper 2, polity complete questions and its analysis along with the answers. So one day we will take up two questions, the other day international relations, then again two questions, third day, then again international relation, one question. Like that, I am going to give you a schedule tomorrow. So please be available at around 12 o'clock and do watch the videos. Don't lose the consistency. Consistency is the key to crack the examination. The more you learn, the more you can integrate and you can write the answers with a good analytical way. If you read just like that or by hearted as there in the content or as there in the compendiums, then it is very difficult to answer the questions that have been asking in this particular examination. The mains 2026 UPSC examinations are more of what analytical and theory based. They don't have much of the relations to the present global politics or present political systems. They're asking about tribunals. Just imagine a point here. It's a very old topic. And they're asking about something which is related to Tribunals Act of 2021. So many of the questions, according to my experience, I have seen that all of them are very, very theoretical in nature, very, very factual, and every student will generally prepare for it. So make sure that you also be very consistent with regard to the normal basic theory. Along with that, you should be also having lot of integration with regard to contemporary issues. So tomorrow I'll give you the schedule of what we are going to do every 10 days. So every 10 days schedule will be given to them, to all the students. Them here is nothing but those who are enrolled in my classes. And obviously a small announcement to all the students out there who are watching me. Join my PSIR classes, a test series and mentorship. Okay. This is not just a kind of what I say is that classes. Here you will be motivated, you will be evaluated, all the handouts will be given to you, doubt clarification sessions will be there, group discussions will be there. It is a good package of course that you are actually going to get. Plus, it is completely dealt by me. So you have been watching me for a long period of time. So our RAPO is already there, our PR is already there. So you don't have to worry about it. My main motto is very simple. So you should get around 350 marks in PSIR, and with the help of which you can drive or you can cut through the mains cutoff. So 350 marks plus you add 350 in all your subjects. Okay, like 1200 marks are there with the rest of the subjects. Just add 350 in it, you are good to go to get a post. Okay, right. So this is the number. Please call this number, WhatsApp me, and we'll have a discussion. We'll try to strategize, we'll try to customize according to your convenience, and we'll definitely make a lot of progress in the coming days. Now we are talking about why France remains important for India and EU's marginal impact. Okay, so this is what we are going to discuss. Always remember this point whenever UPSC asks questions. One statement will be very easy to answer. The next statement will be always with regard to its impact, with regard to its analyze, with regard to what commandments, whatever you are actually writing in the first statement, what is your expectation or what is your analysis with regard to the next statement. That is how the all the questions of PSIR political science has been framed in the GS paper 2 which was held yesterday, right? So after going to the complete analysis of Indo-French relation, I got to know one important aspect about these two nations, that both of them actually believe in what? Sovereignty. They actually believe in sovereignty in the sense that they don't want any external or internal influence with regard to how they handle their foreign affairs. How they handle their foreign affairs. This is what I understood. Whether it is India or whether it is France, they generally have given lot of importance to sovereignty. Means to have no influence with regard to any other country or any economic or a political bloc on the interest of our nation. We will run our country according to the constitution and with the interest of the people. That's how it is. We are not going to succumb with the pressure of developed nations or the superpowers. So India and France are going in the same direction. So they are giving importance to sovereignty. That is what I have understood. They also want there should not be extreme favoritism, should not be there. Extreme favoritism also they both avoided, in the sense that France being a member of NATO, France being a member of European Union, France being a member who actually opposes Russia's actions on Ukraine, still France is also a part of what bilateral relationship with India. How US is actually sanctioning India with regard to its relation with Russia, France is not doing that. France is not doing that. France is very clear that I am not going to do extreme favoritism to the US led NATO or European Union. Whatever I also do what? I also do bilateral relationship, and India is one of the important major partner. That is what he said. Okay. So both of them also do the same thing. Not only France, if you see India also here, India has never been so extreme favorite of US, nor of Russia, nor of any other country. We say that, see, we are very happily living in the middle. Okay, nor we are going to aside this pole, nor we going to aside this pole. So we are not a part of either unipolar or bipolar. We are not into it. We will emerge as a multipolar country, nothing but we are going to have lot of relations with many of the nations according to the interest of the country and according to the economies of scale that the country may get advantage when forging relations with other countries. So both of them, India's Prime Minister and France President Marconi, both of them are actually giving lot of importance to sovereignty that we have discussed. They have ridiculed the extreme favoritism also here. I hope this is all clear to you. Now we will talk about lot of relationship between India and France. Obviously, France has ruled our country. They are the second people to come to our country. Okay, after the Portuguese, then came British. So they are second people. Obviously, at the end of their dominance, they are restricted to what Puducherry and all. So you just imagine a point here. Their people may be here descendants, and as because we are actually there, the French people married our women, and they may have their childrens over there. So a good exchange of what India's diaspora you can see. Okay, lot of in France. Okay. Fine. So that's why it is important. So basically, with regard to the people, with regard to historical ties, we are very good connected with them. The trade part, if you see that we have been trading with them since that particular time of 1600 AD, trade part is very clear. If you talk about defense also, Rafale deal, it is one of the company of France only, Dassault. Okay, so they are also giving us lot of supplies with regard to fighter aircraft. That is also there. And France, being a NATO, being in European Union, has never opposed India's relations with any country, especially Russia. France understand the point here that India's relationships are basically governed by its own interests and economics of scale. So India is not going to do any benefit to any other country except forging its own self-reliance. So they are here very good with us also. If you talk about more, India and France also do military exercises. So to exchange what benchmark military exercises practices. Okay, not only that, in G8, G7 now, France is a part of it, and India is always welcome in the G7. It has never opposed India's observership with regard to what G7 too. Okay, and recently, two times the parade, the very honored parade of France, okay, has also been invitees of what? They have invited Prime Minister Modi ji for the great honor of their parade also. So basically, just imagine that India and France they are not just completely meeting in the global platforms. They are having very deeper ties over a period of time. Now let us talk about them one by one in detail. Okay, historical ties, I have told you that it dates back to century, my dear students. Example, during World War I, more than 1.3 million Indian soldiers fought alongside French, okay, troops in Europe. What else they wanted? 1.3 million is nothing but 13 lakh log hain. 13 lakh soldiers of India fought with their friends against what? Powers. The Indian Memorial at Neuve-Chapelle in France commemorates 4,700 Indian soldiers also who died on the Western Front. So Indian memorial means Indian troops went there and died from the France. For them to honor them, okay, they have built a memorial called as New Chapel where lot of Indian soldiers' names are written. It means they clearly understand that India's contribution with regard to their independence and with regard to their security in World War One. So historical ties are very very high, and we also don't know that they came to India. They have the trade relations very long back. Then defense relationship, if you see, France has been one of the most reliable defense partner since 1950s. For example, India's first French fighter aircraft Dassault Oregon, that is nothing but Tufani. Then Mirage 2000 we got. 1999 the Kargil War. 2019 Balakot strike also we have done with it. Then Rafale deal and Scorpion submarines. Okay, in many of the various defense capabilities, France is forging lot of relations with India, and we are also doing with collaborations. So our historical ties and our defense partnerships are completely clear now. Let us now talk about supporting India's interest. France stood by India during tough times. When we have done the Pokhran test, that is the first atomic bomb test in the year 1998, France refused to isolate India, unlike many Western countries have isolated. Just like now Western countries are isolating Iran, North Korea, that they are building a bomb, etc. They are not trading with them. No visas are being given. No say in international platforms. They are completely banished, banned like that. They are made to feel. But France did not do it. In 1998 also, France supported India in one or the other way. 2019 Article 17 obligation, France declared it as internal matter of India and did not speak anything about it, whereas obviously a lot of countries also talked about it. France strongly supports India's bid for permanent UN seat. What else you want? And also France strongly support India's membership in Nuclear Supplier Group. Nuclear Supplier Group is a group of nearly about 40 countries which actually control with regard to supply and trading of nuclear reactors, uranium, etc. so and so forth. Both countries actively condemn terrorism and push for global anti-terrorism treaty at the UN. They always do it. So you have now seen that how much France is supporting India's interest also. Okay, then strategic ties, if you see, India and France both value strategic autonomy. Independence from big power they want. India and France cooperate in Indo-Pacific to balance China's influence. For example, in 2022, they set up a India-Pacific trilateral framework with partner countries. France also led Le Perouse naval exercise with India, the Quad and the UK. Strategic agreements give both navies access to other bases. That is more important. We can go to the France and we can use their base. They can come to our India and they can use Vishakhapatnam base. So that is what strategic partnership is all about. Example, Indian warship can now use French bases in Djibouti, near China's only overseas military base. Okay, this is important. So we are also making that I've already created a video with regard to diamond of necklace and string of pearls. So India is also in the forefront of encircling China. China knows this very well. अगर कुछ हुआ इंडिया को तो इंडिया भी उन्हें ले डूबेगा. Okay, we are not going to stop back. We are not going to be behind of any kind of power. हम तो डरने वाले वैसे भी नहीं है, ठीक है. जान जाना बड़ी बात नहीं है, बस देश बचाना है. अब देश बचाने के लिए दूसरा देश लूट भी जाओ परवाह नहीं है. That is what we generally feel is all about. Okay, right. Now economic cooperation, obviously India's 11th largest foreign investor France ही है. Bilateral trade around 10.7 billion trade we do. 1,000 French companies are operating in India. Nearly about 39 out of 40 countries in the French stock exchange has operations in India. And the recently proposed Indo-EU trade deal will further boost these economic ties, and both the countries will elevate their GDPs and the shared exports and imports. Now, with regard to climate and renewable energy, India is always in the forefront. It is there in the constitution, it is there in the Upanishad, Vedas, etc. in our culture too. Both nations are very strong patrons of what? Climate change mitigation. Example, in 2014, right after the Paris summit, when the SDG was announced, India and France together bought International Solar Alliance. Obviously, this alliance is not just about India or these countries who are there in a tropical, even temperate countries can be a part of it. Both the countries are now focusing on carbon neutral growth and affordable clean energy. Right. Now, India's diaspora, I have already told you, 7th one. India and France share a very close historical leadership. As Pondicherry, which is now in the state of Tamil Nadu, was once upon a time French colony. Today, many Indians who lives in Paris, especially in the areas around Gare du Nord and La Chapelle, are the Tamilians only from Pondicherry. Later, Sri Lankan Tamils also moved to France to flee the civil war in Sri Lanka. So that's why we are having a very vibrant Tamil community in Paris. Okay, this is we have already done. Then, as I have told you that India and France generally go for what sovereignty first policy they are having. India follow non-alignment, and France President Macron, he always said in the television interview recently also that India and France want to work with US and China. But both of them don't want to depend on either. Like we don't want to depend on US, we don't want to depend on China. Like France don't want to depend on US, France don't want to depend on China. So both of them are very clear in their point that we want to work together, but we don't want to be independent. Dependent on what? Either China or US. France, US led NATO and EU. India's relation with Russia, which has been always under scrutiny since Russia invaded Ukraine, that we know very well. The French government publicly supported European Union sanctions on Russia. So, anyhow, the West-led US and West-led NATO countries, they acknowledge that Russia is doing wrong, and whatever the sanctions they have made on Russia, they are very true. First of all, they removed Russia from the G8 also. Now it became G7. So France government says that okay, balle things is there, I'm okay. However, at the same time, France has not criticized Indian policy towards Russia on bilateral basis. So directly France is involved in what? Conflict with Russia and not happy with Russia. But when we are trading with Russia, France has said us nothing. So just imagine the kind of respect, the kind of what I say is that gratitude that the French is being shown to us and always standing tall with us. So we should not be forgetting, and we have never forget anybody who has helped us. So that is how India is able to get what I say is that perks and privileges, if not from the US, but also we are able to get from other nations, because we follow a very peaceful strategy across the world. We stand for our climate, we stand for anti-terrorism, we stand for wrong funding, we stand for justice. Even in case of Palestine also, we say that Israel is not right. We say that these are two-state solutions. So India follows a policy which is a just and perfect policy, that is a symbol of policy across the world. Everyone need to follow it, that's all. We are actually the typical examples, means people should learn from us how we are able to manage our global politics, and we are able to, even with the being with the friends also, we are doing constructive criticism with regard to Israel also. But we have never left any downtrodden, disadvantaged, a small country. We have never let them feel that they are lower to us. Take the example of Maldives also. They did lot of blah blah, shouted on us, insulted our PM, etc. But still, with the peace diplomacy, now they are Maldives President Muizu has invited PM Modi recently also. Just imagine that we are doing the relations better with all the nations, and US is trying to muzzle up more, but obviously India's economy, India's people are so brave and so encouraging to the government itself, and we'll find a way out how to deal with such problems. That's not a new thing for us. We have been there in such situations many times in our history, and we have thrown you out of the power, we have thrown you out of the country. Forget about throwing out of your goods also or your tariffs also. We'll leave it, we'll do something else, but we'll make sure that we are always happy. I hope this is all clear to you. Take care.